Hi, my name is Anthony Boyce, Senior Consultant with CutConnect.com and creator of Emedicine Healthcare, a telemedicine practice platform for independent physicians. Now, in this series of videos, we've been answering the question, or the question I get most often from my clients who are physicians, how do I market my medical practice effectively and in a way that doesn't waste money? And so, in this video, the second in the series on our 5-part series, we're going to be narrowing our focus and talking about effective messaging and how we start by getting the message out there. Stay tuned. Now, there's going to be about 5 parts that we're going to cover in this video. We're going to keep it as short as humanly possible while still getting to the meat of the matter and giving you actionable information. So let's dive right in. So the first thing is we're going to cover the business aspect. So there's 3 parts of all business since the beginning of time. Have a product or service, gather attention to that product or service, and sell that product or service for more than it costs us to supply or acquire that product or service. And so the next piece is attention. Obviously, we talked about that previously. So attention. Since you as a physician are going to be allocating a significant amount of your time and attention to just that daily practice, we have to be smart about or intentional and strategic about how we gather attention. So just checking my notes here, attention is absolutely critical to build a successful practice. But the type of attention that we get needs to be more focused and it needs to be more precise. And so the quality of the attention, which is part B, needs to be that with intent. So we need to niche down, which is great, especially if you're a specialist. So if you're an OB or you're a physiatrist or you're a cardiologist or whatever your particular area of specialty, by putting information out there online or by putting information out there or being intentional about the quality or the structure of the information that you're putting out there, not just, hey, I'm Dr. Jones and I'm a practicing physician that does X. By focusing your intent or by communicating more actionable information or more usable information, narrower down the funnel or further down the line of decision, you're able to garner or attract your particular type of patient. Here's an example. I'm thinking about having a dermatological procedure done. I'm curious about potential side effects, potential complications, post-operative recovery, etc. By putting out information that applies more specifically to someone who is further along on that chain of thought, you now have provided more actionable information, so that's the return on your intent. So the next piece is you're going to be, we're going to use a formula. So we're going to educate, we're going to inform, and we're going to convert, okay? And so when we give information, right, in return, we get attention, we gain trust, and then we also start to develop relationship and establish yourself as an authority. And so that's an amazing way to get the right kind of attention on your practice and ensure that you're garnering or you're creating a tribe that will have loyalty to you. Okay, next, trust. Now, when they know you, like you, and trust you, they want to do business with you. And I think the value of that is most important, or rather is illustrated most clearly in this example. So how many times will you walk into a room with a total stranger and them ask you to disrobe and you do so with little to no reservation? The reality is there are only a few scenarios where that's going to happen, one of which is with a doctor. You've never met this individual before, you know little to nothing about them personally, but because you feel comfortable enough removing all of your clothes and being literally naked in front of this individual because of the high level of trust intrinsic in the profession. There are very, very few professions, practices, occupations where that is a possibility. So in that equation of know you, like you, trust you, doctors are already one step ahead. And trust obviously is huge. You don't have to worry about that. You're already there. You just have to not lose that. Okay, next, being known, right? So moving from obscurity, right, into being known. Uh, this is particularly important when we think about our avenue of approach. So very oftentimes, we as individuals overthink this. The reality is that there's a tribe for everyone. So regardless if you're an introvert, if you're an extrovert, the reality is you only need to be known initially within a narrow focus. So they only need to know you within this narrow scope. So one, we already talked about how much your profession in general is trusted. Now you just have to represent yourself, not as someone else, but as yourself, because there is someone for everyone. Excuse me. The reality is how you represent yourself should be just as you. Right? All you have to do is put out information about that professional, high quality, very actionable, further down the funnel information consistently or frequently. So here's what we mean: the same message consistently. Hi, my name is Anthony Boyce. I'm with cutconnect.com. We help medical practitioners scale their medical practices consistently and actionably through telemedicine. That's one message. And that's consistent frequently. So we say that consistently and continuously. Another way is content like this, where we provide a different message each time in terms of a communication, but the value is the same. This is another way that you can help grow your practice. This is another way that you can get attention. And so you either want to be consistent, have one message consistently, you'll see that one commercial repeated over and over and over, or you have multiple messages in that same context or tone very frequently. And so it's the one McDonald's commercial versus multiple Nike commercials. And we'll see that too. So you can decide which method best suits you. If you're not a person who has a lot of time or wants to produce multiple different types of content, that singular message will do the trick. If you're someone who's okay with that, with getting your personality out there and communicating, that'll work for you too. Of course, the last piece is being liked. Now, obviously, we said know you, like you, trust you, do business with you. And so I think the common misconception is we need to be someone else in order to be liked. The reality is, we've spoken about this, there's a tribe for everyone, meaning you want to put yourself out there in the places where people are looking for your product or service. Google, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, the typical places, as much as possible. So we talked about being prolific either in a single message frequently or in multiple messages consistently. And so you want to put yourself out there, and the people that you are for will find you. And so, excuse me, while you're practicing locums, while you're doing the things necessary to build your practice, those individuals will come into your sphere, and you will develop those doctor-patient relationships. And the idea is being authentic, allowing them to meet you in some capacity professionally, as opposed to meeting some fake representative, will allow you to have an authentic relationship with people who will know you, appreciate you, and support you for the long term to allow you to build a sustainable practice. And that is probably the most critical part of being liked. You can't change who you are. You shouldn't do that, because the reality is, as soon as they find out you aren't who they thought you were, they'll start looking for who they want. And that's not a recipe for success or longevity. Okay, so we've looked at a few things, and I'll just look through my notes here. We talked about the 3 parts of business and how critical they are. The fact that you have spent a significant amount of time creating your own intrinsic value. We talked about how to articulate that, or how to draw attention to yourself in a positive way, in a narrow and focused way, particularly if you're a specialist, a way that allows people to convert to your product or service, whichever you happen to be offering at the time. We talked about the need to to have quality of attention, and that again relates to the niching down. We talked about the need to educate, to inform, and hence to convert. To give, always lead with give, give, give. As much measure as you give, you will receive. And therefore, you get attention, you gain trust, and you're able to build a mutual relationship. On trust, we talked about the fact that we, as clinicians, you're in the highest trust, one of the highest trust professions there is. And so that trust is intrinsic, and how to validate that trust by providing clear communication and quality of service. Also being known, moving from obscurity to being known, and also in that context, how to communicate the same message consistently. Also, in our recap, we talked about how to communicate the same message consistently or a different message frequently. We also talked about being yourself, how critical it is to gather your tribe around you by being authentic and allowing those people to represent or develop a relationship with the real you. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cover exactly how to set up your practice from a technical perspective, how to set up and put those systems in place to protect your time, to monetize that attention, to convert that attention in order to monetize it, and also how to streamline those interactions and automate them so you're not so you're able to protect your time and not be put in a precarious situation. Again, feel free to reach out to us at emedicine.healthcare if you're interested in finding out more about how telemedicine can boost your practice and help your practice grow and be more successful. Also, if you're interested in consultation, reach out to us at cutconnect.com, KUTKONNECT.com. And then also be sure to share this with someone. It always helps when you have someone to run with to help you be successful. Also, my name is Anthony Boyce, again, Senior Consultant with Emedicine Healthcare and cutconnect.com, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.